Did you know there's a difference between a CV and a resume?
Yeah, resume is a bit more professional.
No.
Curriculum vitae.
Curriculum vitae is like your life story.
Is that where people, that's one that's more.
Yes.
Resume is that one page where you write hobbies include the mountain climbing, riding horses, meeting new people.
That one, remove it from your resume.
Which
I'd like to be
people.
Yes.
I'd like to be a HR person and ask. So when was the last time you went mountain climbing? Makaki wewe ni long sikumbukizo terms. And horse racing, what do you call a horse that's not moving? Where HR, where?
Did you listen to the Hot Breakfast this morning? Here's what you missed.
Joining us live in the studio is Wanderi Kweyu, Director of Conversations with Wanderi. So you can simply call her Wanderi if you have any questions or comments. And it's an entity that seeks to enhance the HR narrative, one conversation at a time. Wanderi, welcome to Hot 96.
Thank you very much, Chef.
And you're still an HR manager, aren't you?
Yes.
And you've been so for more than a decade.
Yes, I have.
So what's the deal? I mean, why are we so afraid of HR? I mean, it's like when someone's applying for a job,
Yeah.
you're so scared. I don't even know where my HR director's office is. Do you know that?
You're not alone, yeah? You're not alone. Quite a number of people have this very stuck-up image of who HR is, and we are expecting us to be, blazers, telling you, hey, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Nobody's telling you what to do. So, yeah, I totally understand why quite a number of people are a bit mystified by HR. But Conversations with Wanderi seeks to tell you that one, we're human beings. We hurt, we experience the things that you experience on a daily basis. We practice a very special art, and that's why I like to identify as an HR artist. We practice a very special art where we're able to take what a conversation needs, what an employee needs, and an employee is a human behind that employee. Bring it together and make sure that the person who is employed is benefiting, the person who has employed is benefiting, and we can do that for a longer period.
Right.
When it comes to what we're looking for when it comes to jobs and job seekers, there's quite a lot around that area. Maybe I can just pick up one thing that you said. There is a huge difference between a CV and a resume.
Okay, tell us.
So CV is a Latin word actually that translated into English means the course of one's life. So when you see a lot of professors and very many people in the education sector write you a 32-page CV, that's correct because that was a CV supposed to be.
That's like a memoir.
Yes, from what it is that you studied to what you did, what you wrote, every significant aspect of your life is put in there. Now, a resume, on the other hand, is a bit more of a summarized a listing of all your professional achievements, and take that note, it's a professional achievements. So don't start writing
high school attended,
yes, and then I scored a B minus and a C plus. That's not really what the resume is all about, but a CV can allow it. So what's happening in the market currently is that there's a hybrid resume, that interesting mix between a CV and a resume where you list some things of the course of your professional life and then fuse it in with the achievements that you've had in a summarized manner. So that's what's currently being used.
So when you're demystifying this whole HR phenomenon, how do you do it? Do you do it by webinars? Do you do it by podcasts? How do you do it, and who joins?
Alrighty, so we do it, like I said, one conversation at a time. So we try as much as possible to have webinars, we have podcasts, we have industry reports that we issue, and we speak on topical issues. So I get, on a daily, I get about over 300 requests on different topical issues for HR. So we just normally collate, finding the one that is more in demand, and then we look for industry experts. So like currently we are running a webinar, and our webinars are free, our podcasts are free, industry reports also free. So what we do is we look for industry experts who can be able to speak without the jargon, We're not looking for somebody who come and make it even more complicated for you. We're just looking for that person who will give you practical, down-to-earth solutions that will help you do what it is that you're looking for. So currently we're running a webinar this Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:30, talking about how to develop a resilient career with a purpose. Because most of us are finding ourselves continuously in different jobs that we don't like. And then before you know it, you're 60. You hate everything that you have done. There's been no purpose, no direction into what you're doing. And you get really, really confused, angry, unsatisfied. So we just want to speak to people on what is a career, what is a job. How do you make your jobs work for your career? When it's COVID time, how do you develop resilience? How do you look for the things that you want and relentlessly pursue that career that you're looking for based on the who you are, your purpose?
Can anyone join, or do they have to register?
So it's actually anybody can join. All we ask you to do is tell us your name. Again, it's a conversation. Just tell us your name and your email address. That's it.
Where do they?
So we have it on all our socials, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, our Conversations with Wanderi. We're currently using a link to register. And we also we can use a QR scanner to register for our website. It takes you less than a second, actually. Sorry, 10 seconds to do it.
Conversations with Wanderi.
Yes.
So tell me, on average, Wanderi, how many job applications do you get every month? Every week, let's say.
Let me tell you of a very interesting one this morning. First, I get over 600 applications.
Good Lord.
This morning, I got one that says, I don't know Kenyans why we do this. Please, this idea to your job, please. I mean, I get the desperation. I get it. I understand you, believe me.
Yeah.
But that won't get you very far.
No.
That won't get you very far. But yeah, actually on a weekly, the phone calls, the chats you get on WhatsApp, the emails, just the inbox messages that we get on the different socials. Yeah. Quite a number of people are seeking for jobs.
Huh?
Yeah.
People are desperate, huh?
It is really bad. So sometimes I just like to tell job seekers, you're not in this space by yourself, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't put your best foot forward. Simply because, again, you are not in this space by yourself.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, in this day and age of Corona, our social being becomes even worse because we're working from home now. Oh,
yes.
A lot of us.
Yes.
Working from home.
Yeah.
So you have less interaction with people.
Yes, indeed. So what's happening with working from home is you're getting your relationships at home strained. Because now you see there's this misconception that you work shorter when you're at home. You actually work longer because you can be called anytime. People can check on you anytime because they know there's no commute, you're not in traffic, you're at home. So when you're there, you're straining your relationship. Maybe your kids are all over the place, your spouse or whoever it is you're living with is also needing your attention. And sometimes you just get into each other's space so much that you just kind of need a minute.
Yeah.
And then there is no minute. And then now work pressure without a minute has been transported into the house, and it's just horrid. It's a terrible experience for quite a number of people right now.
That's why mental health cases are rising, huh?
Every single day.
Good Lord. Okay, for instance, let's say I apply for a job, typical job, typical job seeker. How soon should I expect a reply from you? Or when should I call and follow up?
Yeah. So first things first, please read the instructions that have been given to you. If they say apply for a job, the closing date is say the 20th. Don't call on the 19th. I get what you need, but just don't call on the 19th. Yeah? Give it 20th, wait 2 weeks. Generally 2 weeks is a really good time to allow for shortlisting, because again, the other thing that I like to tell job seeker, for every one job that is out there, on average we receive about 600 applications.
600?
Yes. For every job that is out there, on average, you receive about 600 applications. So give it 2 weeks. Let people read through the applications. Yeah.
So now I've applied, and you've called me in, and we've probably had maybe 1 or 2 rounds of interviews. When do I ask about how much I'm gonna make?
I like that. The question about pay in Kenya is ridiculous, I have to say. The best way is for jobs to be rated according to their output and what the market is paying for that. I am this proponent who says put the salary in the job call. Put it there. Don't say chief finance officer and you've put in all the works, all the shebang and everything, and I apply, I come 3 rounds of interviews and say this position is only paying 60,000. Don't do that to a job seeker. Just don't do it.
Yeah. Let's say you gave him a number. Let's say I was making 125 in the last job. Could the employer check?
Some of them do. I don't think for me that's the correct thing to do, because again, asking this question should basically be for testing how well your salary scale is performing in the market, because you need a good salary scale should be positioned properly in the market. So what kind of payer are you as an employer? Do you want to pay in the lower quarter? Do you want to pay as a middle payer or the higher type of pair? So once you have this, you can use these opportunities for survey, but don't use it to stifle people out of a good role. Because I mean, this is Kenya. Sometimes some people have just been down and out on their luck and have been doing some really good things, and they can be able to do good things for you. You cannot tie them down to the bad luck that they have been having. So for me, honesty, genuineness in how you handle your salary scale, I think it's more like a moral obligation,
right.
Just to do the right thing. Pay where you're supposed to pay.
What about age range? For instance, if I apply for a job now, and then when I show up, the room is full of 20-something-year. I'm sure you see a lot of that.
I know, Jeff. You know, the thing that people forget is that surveys in the early 2000s used to say, actually in the early 2000s, they'd be like, by 2020. Millennials will be 70% of the workplace, 50% in the workplace. Yeah. This is 2021. So they are there. Yes. Ageism is a thing right now. But I've always said, reinvent yourself. It doesn't matter how old you are. Reinvent yourself. Don't come into the workplace. I don't know if you've seen this joke where they say woman comes to work after 25 years and she's used to using that typewriter where you type and then back. And
yeah, we used to do that.
Yes,
old-fashioned type.
Yes, because for me, learning a culture, adapting to it, should honestly be the everything. Don't go into I'm old and I'm stuck in my ways. Just change with the times, evolve, reinvent.
You reinvent yourself. Conversations with Wanderi. That's WANDY.
Yes.
Happens every last Friday of the month, you said?
Yes, every last Friday of the month.
From 9 to
9 to 10:30 Mzungu time. We start at 9 and end at 10:30 hard stop.
And it's going to be on all social media platforms, right?
Yes.
Conversations with Wanderi. You might be interested, folks. Sign up this coming Friday. Did you know there's a difference between a CV and a resume?
Yeah, resume is a bit more professional.
No.
Curriculum vitae.
Curriculum vitae is like your life story.
Is that where that's more.
Yes.
Resume is that one page where you write hobbies include mountain climbing, riding horses, meeting new people.
That one, remove it from your resume.
Which I'd like to hear people.
Yes.
I'd like to be a HR person and ask, so when was the last time you went mountain climbing? Makaki wewe ni long sikumbukizo terms. And horse racing, what do you call a horse that's not moving? Where HR, where?
Do hobbies help at all? Because I find that very
I like cats. We don't have any cats here at 96, so what else can you do? Meet new people, how? You're watching murder investigations. Then you don't have a good certificate of good conduct. Like, why don't you have it? No, I was being investigated once. That's why I like watching murder investigations.
Yeah.
Wanderi, what's the percentage of people who actually get called in? Because, when you get called in, you're talking about selling yourself.
Yes. When you get time, you read through them and you notice on page 2, they hit gold. But then again, 6 to 10 seconds. Start strong.
It's a lot of pressure, huh? That's a lot of pressure.
But I think we did good if we are here. We don't know it consciously, but HR is like, these are the guys who know how to write their CVs.
Exactly. And it's not just the CVs also. But position your work. Let people know about you. Be the person who guys want to call into a room. And there's different ways that you can do it right now. Young people are doing like just simple podcasts on what it is they're doing every day. YouTube channels, they're putting themselves out there. Trust me, recruiters are looking for you. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, there's that other thing, Wandi, that I keep telling young people, and I don't think they ever listen. The internet never forgets.
Oh, Lord of goodness, it never forgets. I just, quick statistic right there, 96% currently of employers will check your social media history, and 60% of the 96 will change their minds after finding what it is.
Whoa.
That is in your social media. So for me, if you've got alternative tests, ladies and gentlemen, please make your pages private. I mean, people, you see the problem with currently job seeking as it currently is, because of the masses that are looking for a job, is the fact that your CV is actually the first step, or your resume is the first step for people to decline your proposition for a job. Your social media presence, everything that is a second reason to decline. So every application, every process that you're going through in the application process is a way for you to be removed and eliminated from the list. So don't do a really powerful resume, then go and disqualify yourself by doing some things that somebody else is not doing.
Some stupid post somewhere you
And also include email addresses in that. You know, like twackchampions@gmail. Mpenda Pombe @hotmail.
No.
Those things happen, eh?
They do.
Hot Mama 2000.
By the way, Wandi, are there still those people that used to be called headhunters? Do they still exist?
Yeah. If you've ever been headhunted, you actually know. One thing is this: headhunting is not a person that sits at the back of a computer somewhere that reads. Nah. A headhunter is a person that is studying talent. They are looking at what you're doing, how you're positioning yourself, and they are looking at you. It's literally a headhunt. Imagine how the lion goes and it's lying in wait. That's the headhunter. So the headhunter is not a person that's reading through resumes. The headhunter is following your career history. And that's why we are asking people, develop a career, don't just do jobs.
Question. Is there a limit to the time one should be in a job? You wake up and it's 20 years later and you're like, gee, I'm still here?
You should also look at pension, eh?
Well,
Kama wewe sasa utatoka hapo uende wapi?
That's what I'm asking.
Na wewe? Hata mimi hapa ndio retirement.
First things first, yeah. About the length you should stay in a job, for me, depends on whether or not you're enjoying it, and it is actually something that you're doing to build your career. I don't know who came up with the notion of vumilia tu malize. That's a bad idea. The opportunities very seldom find you sitting somewhere being nice and keeping your head down. Eh?
Yeah.
It comes to those people who go out there, they look, they search, and they make themselves alive to these opportunities. So if you're working in a toxic environment, don't overstay, leave. If you're not enjoying your job, reposition yourself, repurpose yourself, look for other kind of things. But if you're having fun, that is your passion, this is how you self-express, stay as long as you can.
Deep. Last week on the bench, we're talking now the bottom end of the food chain here.
Yeah.
I had two young ladies who had been recruited. You mentioned the word recruited to go to Saudi Arabia to be maids, and I know you know the stories. Lorna and Faith among. I was shocked to hear there's 97,000 Kenyans in Saudi alone.
Wow.
97,000. So anyway, the jobs are menial, career limiting, and the chances are, you may not come out alive in some cases.
Quite
I mean,
true.
and like you said, if there's 1,000 applications and you only pick one per 100, one per 600, I mean, people are desperate. What do you tell those people? They're listening right now, and they have no other choice but to go to Saudi to go, and be maids and houseboys overseas.
It's called domestic managers in 2021, Jeff. Catch up with the world. The domestic managerial industry is growing.
Wow. What you've just said, Nick, reminds me of somebody who had written something. How do you say that you roast maize on your resume? Oh my word. One was barbecuing lightly the monocotyledons. I think I want to approach that question with in two ways. First on the macro and then on the micro. This is an issue that actually should put our policy makers, they should stand still. The levels of unemployment in this country are unsustainable. I mean, we should stop with all these things that we are doing. If we want to build this economy, let's create jobs. Let us walk around and tell people to stop focusing only on the white collar jobs. Blue collar is an industry that works. Watu wa kushuka nywele, the ones at Gekomba, the ones making the karais and stuff, the carpentries, the carpenters in the world, the domestic managers, these are good jobs. And we should actually focus on creating policy that makes these jobs thrive. I mean, looking at just things like, we call it the minimum pay. That industry really needs to evolve, especially on how we are making policy around these things. If I'm a good carpenter, I'm a good carpenter. Don't start asking me which university did you go to. Just ask me, what skills do you have? I really like the idea of the TVETs. Fantastic opportunity for people to actually get skills and utilize them. And the the narrative for employers needs to change. Simply because I'm a carpenter who went to Kenya Poly doesn't mean you should pay me 1,000 bob. Pay me my dues. Pay me my dues so that I don't have to go to that Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. So well said. And someone's listening to you for the very first time, they're desperate for a job. They've applied 1,000,000 times, haven't gotten a single reply. What do you tell them?
There's something that I do on my personal page. That's Wanderi Kweyu. Solution number one, I always ask, write me a small text. Just tell me why I should feature you on my page. I promise you, I read all of them. Simply because I knew the desperation that is out there. Just tell me in like 4 lines, I am Wanderi, I have expertise in this, I really need a job on that, and I'm building my career in. Answer for me those 4 things. What I do once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, I introduce you to my network. I have a good network. I just say, okay, meet Wanderi Kweyu. She's this, she's done this, I've interacted with her, she's lovely, she's that, let's get Wanderi hired. We do that. So far I've done it with like 5 people. They have gotten jobs.
Strangers.
Yes, strangers.
People you don't know.
No, I don't know them. I just make a phone call. We have a conversation, and we put it out there. So what in that particular solution, I help you to position yourself correctly. For the millions that I can't reach, thing number one, stop applying for each and every job that you're seeing. You're going to exhaust yourself, because job seeking is exhausting. Especially receiving regrets is even more exhausting to the psychological capital that you have when you're looking for a job. Target the jobs that you're looking for. If you don't meet 80% of the requirements, don't apply. And I know it might seem high, but believe you me, there is about, say, another 200 people who actually exceed, and not just exceed, they significantly exceed the expectations of that job that they have applied. So don't
overqualified.
Yes. So don't. If you don't meet 80%, don't. And how do you know 80%? How many years of experience have they asked? Which industry experience have they asked for? What things are common in the job? Like, there are words that are very common in that job. You can actually just go on Google, or just even Microsoft Word and see which word has been most repeated. If you don't know what that word means, you're probably not the one for that job. If that's a word you interact with daily, know how to position yourself for somebody to be able to see that. The next thing is, do not use the same application for every job that you're using. Believe you me, I have seen so many jobs that have been put on offer and so many responses that come and say, I'd like to submit my application to Royal Media. This time they're applying to Conversations with Wanderi. I really enjoy what Royal Media has done to the world, and I think that I would really have good value to Conversations with Wanderi. And I'm like, huh? I mean, take a minute, read it. And you know, the reason why you end up doing this as a job seeker is because you're exhausted. I get you. That's because you're applying for each and everything that comes your way. Target your applications. Make sure that your applications are tailored. As a rule, go and check which word has been repeated. Especially because if a word has been repeated a lot and there's no email address for you to use to apply, they have sent you to a link. They're using what they call the application tracking system. The application tracking system is going to look for that word. Make sure they find it. Thing number 3, avoid taking your CV to be written by people who are not experts.
To the cyber cafe, for
Hey,
example. Dear sir, madam. That's a start.
Yeah, don't do that. If somebody's going to take your money to author your CV and or your resume, check them out. The same way you are looking for a job, they are looking for a job too. And lastly, spell check.
Oh, goodness.
Spell check.
Simple stuff.
Spell check. There is one that we did on CV bloopers. Believe you me, people see quite a number of things there.
Mixing up tenses and all that.
You put it in bold, italics, underlined, curriculum vitae. What is that? I mean, spell check, it helps.
Check.
And then network. Network. Don't just use your opportunities on social media to like people's pages and stuff.
Yeah.
Network. Say things of value. Let somebody remember they read something about you somewhere.
Right.
Network. That's where your net worth is coming from.
And don't say, I remain yours faithfully.
No.
I remain yours faithfully, yours truly, Jeff Kweyu.
Don't say that. Faithfully how? All right, folks, don't forget this coming Friday, Conversations with Wanderi. My goodness, you know it's 8 o'clock already.
Oh, wow.
This conversation has flown. Well done. This is a great topic.
Thank you.
Wanderi Kweyu.
Yes.
We appreciate it. And all social media platforms, Conversations with Wanderi, Wandy.
Yes, indeed.
And it's happening this coming Friday and every last Friday of the month. Check it out, folks. It may change your life. This could be the game changer. It's been a pleasure, Wanderi.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so
I've
much.
enjoyed you.
Yours faithfully.
All right. I remain sincerely yours.
With decision makers.